Hi there, y'all. I am making okra cakes today. This is Father's Day, and so I'm trying to do something extra special for Bob. So he's gonna have country fried steak, potato salad, and I thought I'd make him some okra cakes and maybe even some fried green tomatoes. So I've already taken my green tomatoes. We can buy them in stores around here. They look just like this, green tomatoes. And we slice them up, and I've got them soaking in some milk. It's a combination of milk and buttermilk together. So those are just soaking, and I'll cook those in a little bit. But right now I'm going to get started making these okra cakes. So I've taken some okra. I didn't have fresh okra, so I found some frozen, already cut up okra. It's a little bit more soggy than if I had fresh okra. So I'm just going to take some out here, and it says to have it chopped up really fine. So I'm just going to chop this up real little and put it in the bowl. And then we'll add some other ingredients to it. You want to get it kind of rough chopped fine. I didn't want to put it in the blender because then it would just get too mushy. So this is just rough chopped, and I think that's perfectly fine. So you can see how that is. Just there we go. A little bit more. This was supposed to be 1 pound of okra. So if you buy it at the grocery store fresh or the farmer's market, just go ahead and get 1 pound of it for this recipe. The bag I bought was a 2 pound bag, so I'm using half of it. See how math pays off? Try to tell our grandkids, you're gonna use that math. You're gonna use it, just wait. I use it in sewing all the time. All those fractions, fourth of a yard and how many inches that we need in different patterns and things. So, all right, so this is just rough chopped. All right. There we go. Now I've already chopped up a 1/2 cup of onion, so I'm adding that in. And now we have to add in an egg. Always crack the egg in a separate dish, remember. And then we're going to add in, I think it's a teaspoon of garlic powder. So let me get my little teaspoon out here. Half a teaspoon of, a teaspoon of salt and 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper. So a teaspoon of salt. And about 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper. Okay. Going to stir that all together. So these are the wet ingredients. I'm going to mix my dry ingredients together and then combine them in with this. You can see that looks a little gushy, a little slimy actually. But let me get my dry ingredients together and I'll get right back with you. Okay, I'm back. I've got those mixed together. It was a 1/2 cup of plain flour, a 1/2 cup of plain cornmeal, and then a teaspoon of baking powder. If you can't find the plain cornmeal, sometimes it's hard because all you can find is cornmeal mix. If you find cornmeal mix, that means it's already got the flour in with it. So I would just use a whole cup of that and forget the flour. But anyhow, this, I happen to have the plain cornmeal because I grind cornmeal myself in my grain grinder. But anyhow, I'm just gonna mix this up really good together. And then I'm gonna stir it right in with this stuff. Which will give this a better consistency. Make it stick together good. And they'll fry up really pretty. So what we're gonna do is we're going to heat up about 2 inches of grease in a skillet, and then we're gonna drop this by spoonfuls into the grease, and that'll be our okra cakes. So they fry up in that grease. So my grease is not quite hot enough yet, so I'm just gonna let this sit. You can see now it's nice and thick. So that'll hold together well. And I'll get back with you as soon as I start frying them up. All right, y'all, my grease is nice and hot, and I've started putting them in here. I'm just using my scooper and just scooping up. It's about a good heaping tablespoon of the batter, like this, and then just putting it right in the grease and letting it fry up. That's my man. He loves fried food, so he should be happy with these. And you just fry them until they look done. And they're brown on one side, and flip them over, and then the other side get brown, and then they'll be ready. Shouldn't take long. And you can see I've got this grease pretty deep in this skillet. See if I can flip that one over. Just gonna flip them each one of them over. They roll over pretty easy. If you don't have a scooper, you can just use a regular tablespoon. Just make sure it's the big heaping one. But these are cooking up pretty nice. Keep the flame hot, but not so hot that they burn. This is just a variation of fried okra. I mean, he loves fried okra, but this has the onion and the garlic in there, and so it gives it a little bit more flavor, and you can eat more at one time. Just picking them up. And what I'm going to do in the meantime, I've got some cornmeal that I'm just going to take these. Let's see if I can make it where you can see what I'm doing here. I've got the green tomatoes here, and I'm just going to take them and just dip them down in this cornmeal, like that. Coat them really good, and then I'll just drop those down in there too. Just let them all be cooking together. It won't hurt anything. Just like that. So when those are done, I think they'll rise to the top. And that little okra cake's looking done to me. Let me show it to you. So I'm just going to put them over here on this, it's actually a wire rack on top of a cookie sheet with some paper towels in there. They kind of look like little hush puppies, okra hush puppies, being round like this. You can see it doesn't take long. When this grease is hot, they get to cooking. And you could make them smaller if you wanted to. They just cook faster. See, there's those green tomatoes. They've come up to the top already. So I'll just continue doing this, and I'll show you the finished product in just a little bit. All right, y'all, so here is the finished product. There's fried green tomatoes and the okra cakes. And I think Bob is going to be a very happy man for dinner. Anyhow, I'll talk to y'all later. Hope you made your husbands mighty happy. And for all you guys who are watching, happy Father's Day to you. Love y'all. Bye-bye.